Over the past few days, we've been looking at old commercials. Thanks to my friend Rita for finding this one, absolute gold. It was made to shape how people saw the future and how they were supposed to think about it. So in a way, this gives us a glimpse into 1954, a time of rebuilding when influence could take hold fast. Full version is linked in the description, free of my mumbling.
Right this way for a great big barrel of fun, a carnival of gags and laughs, gadgets and gimmicks, toys and tricks.
And it's not a coincidence that everything takes place in a park like this. An amusement park is a place where you wander without a clear goal, where you're drawn from one attraction to the next, and where you spend money on small moments of satisfaction. At the same time, it's tied to childhood.
Smiles and frowns, ups and downs. But for 1960, I can see a nation that's full of prosperity.
By 1960, America can present a market that even now is hard to imagine. A 20% higher standard of living.
This feels bigger than a prediction. It feels like a story people are meant to believe, because here prosperity is tied directly to consumption. Notice how it's framed not as freedom or stability, but as the ability to buy more.
Spread across 16 million more people. 9 million more people at work.
They talk about more money, but what they show is people becoming something else, shifting traits. The woman becomes strong, masculine. The man becomes feminine and graceful, almost performative. And that's not random.
Gross national product at 440 billions a year. Consumer buying power, $70 billion greater than it is today.
So here we're looking at abundance, a higher gross national product. But really, it's about overconsumption, comfort, indulgence. She's exaggerated, oversized, surrounded by junk food, almost swallowed by it all. More buying power means more consumption, and at some point, consumption becomes the goal. And then the economy isn't really about producing anymore. It's about keeping people wanting more.
And the kind of changes you'll see. The chemical industries by 1960 can grow another 40%. More chemicals in fabrics, and more farm chemicals improving the soil. Better food and meat, 15% more of it, and more of it pre-packed.
More chemicals in fabrics, and chemicals in farming to improve the soil. Well, it's just right in your face. Maybe this is where the shift really begins, from something natural to something synthetic. Less effort, more output, and everyday life becomes easier without really knowing what might come with it.
Miracle medicines to keep people feeling their best. New cosmetics to keep them looking their best.
Miracle medicine to keep people feeling their best. And with what we know today about the medical industry and how much of it depends on people staying sick. So between the lines, medicine is no longer just about being sick. It becomes something tied to feelings, mood, self-optimization. And it's not a one-time fix. It has to be maintained. new cosmetics to keep them looking their best. And again, the solution is products. It's an idea of how you're supposed to look. Notice how she's shown in a mirror. It all centers on perception, how she sees herself, and how others see her. So the short version for both is this: your feelings and your appearance can be optimized, and both can be maintained with products.
All-weather flying, helicopter convenience, jet-propelled air travel, and, well, who can tell? Spare time will be still greater in 1960. Shorter work weeks in industry, in the home, and on the farm. Longer vacations, and more people getting them.
This is one of the places where the film isn't really wrong. It's just optimistic in a way that never quite played out. In many places, the work week did get shorter. But since around the 1960s, it hasn't changed much. They promise more free time, but the system they're describing only works if people keep consuming. So, the hamster wheel keeps going.
By 1960, the clear prospect is a nation of 177 million people in all, with $70 billion more dollars to spend and more time to decide how they'll spend it. And the prospect, too, is another 40 million radios in all sizes, in more places than ever before. A prosperous future for all of us.
So first you're captured by the camera, then you're given an ideal identity. It's a whole life path, packaged as advertising. Then she looks into the crystal ball. The future is predicted. It's about finished dreams, ready-made for you. And notice how the radio starts to appear in all these scenes. It becomes a natural part of everyday life.
Provided
the salesman makes sure the word gets about, he's got something that no one should be without. Then, if everyone hops aboard as a buyer, the standard of living is bound to go higher.
And a higher standard of living is more than new goods and services. It's what goods and services can do for people. The satisfactions they provide. So prosperity comes down to getting everybody to want the satisfactions that a higher standard of living can bring. Pointing out these satisfactions is the job of advertising. For advertising has helped greatly in building up the economy we have today. Most successfully when it's helped people to imagine new satisfactions that are within their grasp.
It's the tunnel of love.
It's the tunnel of love.
It makes the world go round.
Its magic spell is everywhere.
It's just around the corner.
Of all the media advertising uses to set new goals in people's minds, radio is uniquely equipped. Radio reaches everybody. Radio sells the satisfactions that goods and services can bring. And it sells satisfactions over and over again at a price that every advertiser can afford.
The world go round.
Its magic spell is everywhere.
So we call it the tunnel
Of love.
The moment the name changes from Boat Ride to Tunnel of Love, everything shifts. The product hasn't changed, so it's not the product driving demand. It's the meaning around it, and it escalates quickly into mass behavior. What matters is keeping the cycle going, creating new wants and new needs. So, a product becomes an experience becomes desire, and desire becomes something that can be created with words. As they say, advertising helps people imagine new satisfactions. It's magic. It's everywhere. And notice the pause when they say it. We call it the tunnel of love.
So that radio now can reach almost anyone, anywhere, anytime, including vast audiences no other medium can reach. 41 million people who don't have television, 37 million who don't read magazines, 18 million who don't read daily newspapers. Consider, too, radio and printed media. Magazine people tell us that 3/4 of all magazine copies are read by only 1/3 of all Americans. But with the human voice,
57 beautiful girls, 57. See the 57 most beautiful girls, 57 in the world. Step right inside.
the human voice gets through to everybody, to the chronic non-reader, to people who are not eye-minded, but ear-minded, to people who simply find reading takes a lot of time and trouble. Today, radio accumulates great national audiences. In a single week, it reaches 92% of all U.S. homes. And this listening is spread evenly throughout the day.
Here they're talking about radio being everywhere, reaching people wherever they are. You even see it visually. A speaker in the middle of the ride, people sitting around it, almost locked in. And it reaches people who don't read and people without TV. They're going straight for the groups that are otherwise hard to reach. Even people who aren't looking for information are still hearing it. Earlier, they showed how desire is created, then how it spreads. And here, they show how people are activated.
Radio not only gets to everybody, it gets across to everybody. Because it's one person talking to another. The simplest, most natural form of communication, sound. Sound moves one idea at a time, and so it assures built-in attention for a sales message. The second the entertainment stops, the sales story immediately begins.
Sad, sad, lonely.
Sound puts across the sales story one point at a time. And through sound, the advertiser controls his story, making his sales points in the most persuasive order.
Get your guy with glamour. Glamour in the blue and yellow box.
Sound is a basic force in creating memory, in lodging an idea in the mind. You remember when you hear something over and over.
Hear him clamor when you've got glamour. Glamour, 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 glamour.
Finally, sound is particularly effective in conveying ideas and emotions, for it is never bound by the literal dimensions or appearance of any product. And for many products, the extra values lie in the ideas people have about them.
Glamour, the formula with chemicals. If you're lonely, get your one and only with Glamour, the formula with chemicals.
The formula with chemicals. You remember when you hear something over and over. And with what we know today about sound and manipulation through it, I'm only more grateful that I've been commercial-free for so many years.
Smiles and frowns, ups and downs. But in everyone's future, I can see a nation that's full of prosperity if we play our cards right.
In setting new goals for 1960 and achieving them, advertising can play a pivotal role. In helping people to imagine the satisfactions that are within their grasp, the medium that's most efficient is radio. And radio's maximum efficiency is centered where America listens most.
Helping people to imagine. They're selling ideas. And that ties back to everything we've seen. The tunnel, the amusement park, the illusion, the voice in your head. This film showed a future imagined for 1954. Prosperity, at its core, is about creating desire, new goals, new ways of living. Plant the idea, and it spreads. I'd love to hear what you think about this one, and if you find any other old commercials like this, send them my way.